Skins are 1-9 on Monday night since 2013, 2-14 since 2008. That's dating back to when you came here. Here's my question. As a Redskin, and sort of like, did you feel like we approached Monday night differently than other games? Is there anything you can put your finger on? And then I want you to compare that to when you were in Atlanta, and I know you were only in Oakland briefly, but maybe there's something organizationally that we're just approaching this game differently or something. What can you make of this weird anomaly? Because, look, the Redskins have been bad, but they haven't been that bad.
Think about primetime games, and not even really Monday night. You just go back to primetime games, and we don't play very well, particularly on primetime games. And it's hard to point your finger at why that is, man. That's why people love the National Football League. At the end of the day, because any given Sunday, anybody can win. Any team can win. Any team can lose. But we didn't prepare any differently than when I was in Atlanta. I was taught as a young dude in this league that if you want people to know your name, if you want to leave a legacy, obviously you play every game hard. But when you're on primetime games, Monday night games, because there were no Thursday night when I first got in the league. So when you're on primetime games, you got to ball. You ball out, and everyone in the world starts knowing who you are and starts knowing your name. Hell, I played every game hard, but you best believe when I was 21 years old and got TO on Monday night, I wanted to make sure I showed the world how good I was. And that was just always my mindset. But I don't think we prepare any differently when I've been when I was in Washington. It just, man, the ball just always bounced the wrong way for us on Monday night, man. And it was the damnedest thing.
D, I know it's ancient history at this point, but take us back 8 years to the Monday Night Massacre at FedEx, the day that Donovan McNabb signs his contract extension. You faced the Eagles. You were on that team, and you're down 28-0 by the end of the first quarter.
I can remember pregame, and we're all feeling real good. We're all feeling great. I see Mike. I hadn't seen Mike in a little while at that point. Dapped him up, talked to him for a little bit. He kind of, hey, we got a nice little passing attack. We got a nice little game plan. I'm like, all right, we got a nice little game plan. Can't wait. Let's go. And before the game, I saw Deshaun Jackson and LaRon Landry getting into it. And I'm thinking, dude, don't get D-Jack hyped. Don't get him hyped right now. And so I knew at some point, Coach asked you first cover two, Coach, because cover two, I don't have no responsibility besides letting me jack D-Jack up. Went to jack him up, kind of missed him a little bit of the line, but got enough of a jam on him for my safety, which was LaRon. LaRon didn't stay inside and let me help him outside. He tried to do a little bit too much, and D-Jack got head up on him. Mike threw the post, and from that point on, man, we knew it was going to be a long night.
By the way, your leading rusher for the Skins in that game, Keelan Williams, 2 touchdowns in a losing effort.
Yeah.
Hey, D, tonight, the key's going to be slowing down, if you can at all, Zach Ertz, right? He's third in the NFL in receptions. I think he had something like 84 catches going into this game. 6th in first downs. I think he's got 47. 6 touchdowns in the red zone. As a former DB, what will, can we put a linebacker on him or no? Are we going to be able to do that?
You can't. No, you can't put a linebacker on him, but just for coverage sake, you're going to see, not coverage, but disguise sake, you're going to see linebackers on him because when he's in that box and attached to the O-line, to the O-line, then you don't know if he's running a route. You don't know if he's, if he's blocking or some kind of run fake. And so linebacker is going to be on him. You're going to see a safety on him from time. He's spread out wide. That dude's a receiver. And so for us to not acknowledge that in the first place, and when he's lined up out wide, we can't help them help themselves. So when we know that it's going to be a passing situation and Zach Ertz is spread out, we got to put a light body guy on him, a guy who can cover him, a DJ Swearinger type, or bring in another corner in those situations. Even Monte Nicholson covered him pretty good from time to time. Yeah, man, they're going to try to get Zach Ertz the ball. We understand that, and they move him around in so many different spots that, at certain times where I'm like, man, there's no way they're throwing this ball because we got our number one corner on Zach Ertz. But you sit back there and you watch Carson Wentz time and time again, still fire that ball in there, and this just shows you the confidence he has in Zach to make those kind of plays.
we've seen in recent weeks this defense leak a lot of oil, whether it was Matt Ryan or Ryan Fitzgerald throwing against them, Dak Prescott. Teams have also been running against this Redskins defense. What's been happening, in your opinion, in the last month where the defense, which was carrying them for a while, hasn't been holding up?
I mean, some of it's scheme. Some of it's scheme of what other teams are doing. Some of it is just some guys aren't winning their one-on-one matchups as regularly as they were early in the year. But, for the most part, I think the way that they're playing right now is just that bend but don't break style. They are giving up yards, but they're getting turnovers. And I think their coaches don't mind giving up a little bit of yards if they can get the ball. That's ultimately what you want to do, is get the ball and cause turnovers. And his defense has been able to do that. Now, on the other hand, you can't, like you said, leak oil at this point in the season. We're supposed to be ramping up, getting ready for this playoff push, not getting worse throughout the process. And so that is something that's very frustrating to sit back and watch, to know this defense is so dominant and has some of the players they have, but they just can't seem to, get the run stopped, or even really, some explosive plays you like to see minimized too.